What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 7 of the Mojo MMA Show. I'm your host, Mo, with my co-host, Joe. And today in this episode, we're going to go over what's next for Colby Covington, our thoughts on UFC Fight Night, Ankalaev versus Walker 2. We're going to make some predictions on who we think is going to finalize the UFC 300 card, and go ahead and make predictions for the next pay-per-view, UFC 297.
I don't even know what to say about what's next for Colby Covington. He called out Stephen Wonderboy, and I felt like that was probably the weirdest call out he could have made, just because Bilal Muhammad had his way with Wonderboy pretty easily, and Colby knows that Wonderboy doesn't have much of a wrestling game. So I kind of felt like that was just a weird call out, and I definitely don't like the press conference or the build up for that. You saw the press conference with Colby Covington and Wonderboy, their little confrontation they had.
Yeah, that little back and forth. I feel like Wonderboy's press conferences always go that way. Even with, do you remember in the lead up to, I think it was Woodley versus Wonderboy 1, when Tyron said something and he was like, "You don't got to be mean, man."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't think that was very. I don't find it very entertaining at all to see that fight. I'd rather see Wonderboy fight someone not a wrestler. Like the Kevin Holland Wonderboy fight last year was one of the best fights of all time. I'd rather see matchups like that for Wonderboy moving forward. But Colby Covington, I don't even know. Give him Bilal. That'd be a funny fight to watch, I think.
Yeah, moving forward, I think because 170, it's not full of like striking killers except for the number one guy, Israel Adesanya, right? But everyone else is not really known for their striking. Most of them are known for the wrestling. This is like the wrestling division. Like if we go through the rankings, we can see Du Plessis, who's tied up, and who he wouldn't want to fight either way. Robert Covington would be a great fight for him. I mean, Robert.
What the hell are you talking about?
Did I say Robert Covington?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about 185 because I'm tripping. I was thinking about. Never mind. Let me go back. Sorry. 170, Kamaru Usman, wrestler, which we've already seen twice. Bilal Muhammad, extreme wrestler, he's tied up. Shavkat Rakhmonov, I don't think he's a wrestler, but he's definitely a grappling guy, a striking guy, and a guy he definitely doesn't want to see. Gilbert Burns, I think that fight would probably be a good fight, but again, Gilbert Burns can wrestle, he can grapple, he can strike, something Colby doesn't want to go through. And then we get down to Wonderboy, and it's like, okay, this is the highest ranked guy that can strike and can't really wrestle. He has decent wrestling defense, but I mean, people eventually get him down every time. So I mean, that really is the only fight that makes sense. And then you keep going down. Sean Brady, he doesn't want that. Jeff Neal, he doesn't want that. But Sensei Luque, he might, but that's all the way down at 9. So I think this is the only thing that makes for an easy fight that he's had his whole career. He needs to build up another fake resume to get him another title shot. And I mean, I guess like Wonderboy Thompson is the only way to go.
Yeah, I think an even better move would be down to 155, because 170, there's just the only exciting matchup I can think for him is Gilbert Burns, because I know Gilbert Burns would bring the fight to him, and it would be probably be a very competitive fight. But other than that, I don't see very many other fighters at 170 that really would be a good fight for him. I think the best move for him right now would be to go down to 155. I think at 155 he has Islam. I don't really want to see him fight Gaethje, but Poirier would be fun to watch. He's got a lot of fun fights at 155. I think 155 would have to be the best move because I do not want to see him fight Wonderboy.
Yeah, I mean, first off, that's going to be a boring fight. And then after that, what does he do? You know what I mean? He's going to have to fight a straight killer after that. So, I mean, his only good move is to go to 155. There's a lot more entertaining fights at 155. So I think that, and then he'd be pushed definitely in the top 5. Even though there is kind of a logjam at 155 right now with who's going to get the next title shot. Because Gaethje, who I thought was just going to sit for the next shot, bam, just got announced he's fighting the worst. No, I'm just kidding. He's fighting one of the best 145-pounders in the world, who doesn't have the best track record at 155, but still, it ties up Justin Gaethje, who I thought was going to get the next shot. And then there's Charles Oliveira, also tied up. He's fighting Mateusz Gamrot coming up on the UFC 300 card. And then Dustin Poirier, bam, tied up fighting BSD on that. He's also on that card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. Yeah, and then Michael Chandler probably going to be matched up with Conor McGregor, which I hope we see that. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, what is next for him? We'll see. I mean, I don't think we'll see him for a while. He's probably going to take a while off and just look back on this loss.
Yeah. We could transition over to that because I was wanting to talk about what you thought, your thoughts on Arman Tsarukyan versus Charles Oliveira.
I honestly, I said Gamrot was fighting Oliveira. Oh, what's wrong with me? Yeah, Tsarukyan versus Oliveira. I think that's a good one. I don't know what to think of Oliveira in that fight. It's just, and I guess we've seen Islam Makhachev since, and we know that he is he is better than maybe we thought he was, and it wasn't just the Oliveira, having the worst fight of his career. Maybe Islam made him look that way,
Yeah.
So I mean, here we'll really see if Oliveira is falling off with that loss, or if he's actually still a top contender.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a completely opposite view on that. I think the Charles Oliveira fight with Islam made everyone think that Charles wasn't that good. But you go back a fight or two before, and he's beating guys like Poirier and Gaethje, and he's dominating them. Not early in the fight, he gets knocked down a couple times, but I mean the fight it comes down to a finish every single time. And same thing with Beneil Dariush. Beneil, whenever they fought, I believe he was an underdog, which is absolutely insane to me. And I feel the same for this fight as well. I'm not sure if he's an underdog on this fight or not yet. Are the numbers out for that?
Let me check. But I mean, thinking back, I think he might have opened as an underdog, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he's at now. Let me see. Yeah, he's still no, yeah. Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong fight. Give me a second. Charlize. Okay, so he opened as a minus 120. Oh wow. And that's been moving a lot. That fight, he opened as a minus 120, and right now he's around 130 in some places.
Damn.
What you can get him from 130 to 170 plus money.
Yeah, I don't see anywhere. I don't know how that's even possible for Oliveira, especially just because Arman Tsarukyan's coming off a couple pretty decent wins. I don't think he's gonna be able to put it all together against Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, I mean, Arman Tsarukyan, he's a very well-rounded fighter from what we've seen, He's been beating guys different ways, but yeah, I don't know if he's ready for Charles Oliveira level guy,
Yeah.
All right, next on the list, let's go down to this UFC Fight Night card, UFC Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker. It was a decent card to start off, There was some good fights in there. Marcus McGee with another knockout, this time in the second round. I think he's ready to see some better competition.
Yeah, and, definitely.
Matthew Semmelsberger drops another one. I mean, I love watching this guy fight, but he just gets fucking wrecked every time he goes in there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Andrei Arlovsky lost a decision. Kind of a boring fight for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, the fights that stood out the most for me were definitely the Phil Haas. Any fight that Phil Haas is in, and any fight that Ricky Simone is in, is always going to be a good fight. Those two stood out the most for me on that whole card.
Yeah, I mean, with the role that Mario Bautista has been on, I definitely saw some value on him since he was the underdog. But I was like, damn, I don't have enough balls to put money on that because Ricky Simone always comes to fucking fight,
Yeah.
And then Jim Miller, fucking again, another submission in the third round. This guy's fucking insane, dude.
Yeah, I can't believe he's still doing. He doesn't look washed up at all. Like people are saying, I don't know. Did Jim Miller fight Tony Ferguson? Am I tripping? I'm not sure.
I'll have to look it up.
I don't think so, but people were calling for the Jim Miller Tony Ferguson fight. But Jim Miller is on a whole other level right now. He looks really good. He looks as good as he's ever been. He doesn't look like he's slowed down at all. He's got a pretty good chin. But Bobby Green is going to be a very interesting fight for him. So I'm not sure how that's going to go.
Yeah, they never fought before, but damn, like this one, like that fight is gonna be fucking amazing. I'm very scared for Jim Miller. I'm like, damn, this guy has a win at UFC 100, UFC 200, and like I thought they were gonna give him some scrub,
Yeah.
and I thought the best guy they were gonna give him was like a Paul Felder coming out of retirement to fight because they were talking about that one. But and then when they came up with the name Bobby Green, I was like, what the fuck? Because that's gonna be a good fucking fight, but Bobby Green's fucking good.
Yeah, I don't know. Jim Miller's pace and his wrestling, I think he might be able to get it done, but I don't know. The fight's always starts on the feet, and Bobby Green has definitely proved that he can knock anyone out in the lightweight division.
Yeah, for sure. What do you over or under? Do you believe Bruce Buffer will announce him as Jim fucking Miller at UFC 300?
What do you mean over or under?
Do you believe it'll happen?
Oh yeah, I think it will.
I don't know. They're very PG about that shit, you know? Even if it's pay-per-view, they'll start pulling the mic if people start cussing, you know?
Yeah,
Even if
I don't
they're
know.
on pay-per-view, since it's ESPN, you know?
Hopefully they do it. That'd be kind of cool since you watched it. I guess I don't know why it's a big deal, but
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be a big deal. It should be, you know, especially for him being he has the most wins in UFC history, right?
yeah.
All right, and then the main event, Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker. I really thought Johnny Walker was going to catch him, but he was throwing shit, and Ankalaev was not falling for it. I think he saw that knee come fucking inches from his face in the last fight, and he was like, you know what? I need to make sure that this fight, my striking's on point. And he came and he fucking delivered. His striking looked off the charts.
Yeah, Magomed, he's always very consistent. His striking is good. His grappling's better. I mean, he's good everywhere. He's the biggest threat to the light heavyweight division right now. I think I think he's been the biggest threat, but he's just been getting held off by all these weird coincidences that keep happening to him, like the tie with for the title.
Mm-hmm.
What else happened? Or he got leg kicked. I guess that kind of it's a weird thing to happen, but his Iwan Cutelaba fight, that was a weird ass fight.
Yeah, they ended up running it back, right? They fought twice.
Yeah, I mean, he was gonna finish him either way that first fight, and then they stopped it early because Cutelaba was a weirdo, and then now he's gonna. I don't know what's in for. I don't want to see him fight Pereira, honestly, because I like Pereira a lot. But Magomed said if they fight, he wants to keep it standing. Don't even practice your wrestling. So that'd be interesting.
That's actually a good lead because I heard some rumors that could be possibly an appearance for UFC 300. I heard that. Well, I don't know if you saw the post that Alex Pereira posted, but he said that his next fight he wants to beat Jamal Hill. But I mean, if Jamal Hill's not going to be ready, and I don't think he's going to be ready for UFC 300, that maybe they'll throw Ankalaev and then Pereira in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to see that fight for UFC 300. I don't think that's a very. I mean, it's a big fight, and it's probably what should happen. I'd rather see Pereira versus wait for what's his face
Jamal Hill
to avenge his loss.
You talking about Izzy, or are you talking about Jamal Hill?
No, Jamal Hill, yeah.
Okay,
I'd rather see him fight Jamal Hill to avenge that final loss.
For Glover?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. Because you remember when he stepped in the ring afterwards, and he was like sizing him up, we're like, oh shit, he might move to 205, and shit, now he's the fucking champ there, so.
Yeah.
Okay, let's other UFC 300 predictions. I feel like most of the speculation is around Alex Pereira. So I've seen some that say him versus Izzy 3 would happen, him versus Jamal Hill, and the craziest one is him versus Tom Aspinall.
Yeah, that's true. When you said that he's like the biggest name right now, I didn't really think about. I forgot about the Tom Aspinall post a while back. I don't like that fight very much either because Tom Aspinall has really good submissions and wrestling. I don't like that fight very much for Pereira, but I hope it's Jamal Hill. I really hope it's Jamal Hill. But Adesanya is talking about coming back, and he's posting all these weird posts that are hinting at it too. And then you see Khabib apparently is training again, so
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. But what I will say is another rumor that I heard was this fight this weekend, Sean Strickland versus Dricus Du Plessis. The winner of that, if they're not banged up, to fight Israel Adesanya on that UFC 300 card.
Yeah, well, last time Dracus stubbed his toe on the way out of the ring, and he couldn't fight Adesanya, so I doubt that would happen. So, well, I got Pereira. I'll just wait for later to talk about that fight. But, yeah, I doubt that would happen. I doubt that turnaround would be 4 months. But Strickland, on the other hand, Strickland would definitely be down to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We can talk about the outcome of that in a bit. Another one that we've seen is Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad.
Oh, that's a barn burner for 300.
Yeah, that would be.
I feel bad for Bilal because he's a really good fighter, and he definitely will hold a belt one day. I think, just mainly because his wrestling. He's got very good wrestling, very consistent wrestling. He doesn't take a lot of damage in his fights, but I mean, I don't want to see that fight I want to see that fight one day, just not UFC 300.
Yeah,
I'd rather
that's
like a crazy
affair.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's supposed to be the card, the best card ever. So if that's on there, I hope Bilal would come the way he came, ready for Sean Brady. Ready to strike.
Yeah. One thing I think that they're doing with UFC 300, because everyone online is talking about UFC 300 is going to be shit. UFC 298 or 290, is it 298 or 299?
290. I think it's 299.
Yeah, 298 and 299. Both those are really good cards, but everyone's saying that 298 is going to be like the biggest card, way bigger than 300. But I don't think that Dana would book all these other fighters like Sean O'Malley. He's a star. Dustin Poirier, he's a star. Volt, Whitaker, Jeff Neal, Ian Gary. I don't think that Dana White would just make all these guys fight and then not have something crazy in store for UFC 300, because he's been talking up UFC 300 for a while now. I think that the fights that he has posted right now for UFC 300 are going to end up being the prelims. I think that he's, except for Zhang Weili and Yan Xiaonan, because it's a title fight. But I think all those other fights in that card, I think that those are going to be the prelims. Because right now everyone's talking about how all the fights on the main card right now are pretty average. I think that a lot of those fights are going to be on the prelims, and they're going to fill it up with some other crazy stuff.
Yeah, I hope so. One other one, I think the last one we're going to go over is a speculation for a fight I heard was Leon Edwards versus Islam Makhachev. Is one that I heard.
That'd be a great fight.
Yeah, for sure would. Oh, I would love to see that. Islam, you know how fucking strong he is, but him moving up, and it's not even like the way the weight classes are down there. He's moving up 15 pounds. Yeah. It's not just 10 pounds, it's 15 pounds to fight. Yeah, and then Leon Edwards has shown his wrestling against Kamaru Usman, who's a fucking amazing wrestler. So, I mean, we'll see. It doesn't hold up to Dagestani wrestling, but I mean the 15-pound weight advantage.
Yeah, you seen Volk hold his own in the first fight with Islam, and I think that with Pereira's extra weight, he could definitely hold off the wrestling a bit more. And he proved whenever he fought Kamaru that he can take him down and he can get back up, get taken down, and get back up. So
you said Pereira? A really good
fight. Nope, I didn't say that.
You definitely said Pereira.
Who are we talking about?
I
took NyQuil and Benadryl like 2 hours ago. I don't even right now.
You said Pereira would be able to hold up.
No, I actually took a Benadryl earlier, and then I took NyQuil too. I got a cold, so.
All right. UFC 297. It's fucking pay-per-view week again. I'm fucking excited. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, the fights they're decent. I think everyone's saying Raquel Pennington versus Silva as the co-main, and they're pretty disappointed about that. But I mean, if you go a few fights down, you got some good fights.
Yeah, definitely. We can start at the bottom of the main card. Movsar Evloev is coming up against Arnold Allen. And, I mean, Arnold Allen was on a fucking absolute fucking streak until he ran into Max Holloway. So, I mean, that's going to be a great fight. I mean, nobody except Volk really looks good against Max Holloway. So, I think is definitely going to be a good fight. And then Movsar Evloev still undefeated, but he did have that one slip up. Oh, it's not. I guess not a slip up if he won, but that one fight against Diego Lopez last year. It ended up
Yeah,
being
that was
an
a
amazing
sick
fight. So who you picking on this one?
I think with Arnold Allen, he sat out a while. His last fight was January, or when was it? Not January. It was last year. When was Arnold Allen's last fight? Because he hasn't fought in a long time since the Holloway fight.
Yeah,
It
he
feels
did
like.
fight last year. It was last
Oh,
year,
April.
April.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he's
almost a year.
taken the. I think he's taken a good amount of time off. I don't think he's I think he's gonna learn a lot from the Max Holloway fight. And he's gonna come back way better. I think he's gonna come back with even better striking, even better takedowns. I'm definitely taking Arnold Allen in this fight. I think he's the underdog too, which excites me even more. I think that he'll be able to probably get it done inside the distance too.
Yeah, looking at this card, there's a couple underdogs that I do like, and Arnold Allen is one of them. Evloev, like he looks really big for this division, but I mean that fight with Diego Lopez just shows that like when some good strikers come through, he might not be able to hold his own. And Arnold Allen, I don't know if people looked at that Max Holloway fight and dropped stock in him, but I think he's a phenomenal fighter and still can fight for the title one day, especially with the way this division moves. You know, Volkanovski needs a new challenger every couple months.
Yeah.
All right, next fight, which is also going to be a good fight. Actually, hold on. Let me go back to this. Make sure I go in the right order. All right, so the next fight on the card is going to be Marc-Andre Barriault versus Chris Curtis. Fun one.
Yep. Yeah, I'm really excited for this fight. I think this is probably going to be the fight of the night, for sure. Chris Curtis, he has knocked out just about every good fighter or talented up-and-coming fighter that we've seen so far in the UFC, including one of my favorite fighters, Brendan Allen, which really pissed me off. But he's a really good fighter. He knocked out Phil Hawes, Brendan Allen. The list goes on. Joaquin Buckley was a pretty impressive one. I don't think it's going to be any different for Barriault. I think that Chris Curtis, with that style fight that they're going to bring, the NyQuil's talking. I think it's going to be a pretty good firefight. I think they're going to go at it for probably one round, maybe 2 rounds. I think it's going to be a quick fight. But I definitely see Chris Curtis finishing him in the first or second.
Yeah, so the odds for this one is Barriault is coming at a plus 146, and Chris Curtis is a minus 188. Yeah, I believe everything you're saying. It's going to be a fucking amazing fight. You know, Chris Curtis always shows up and shows out. And, I mean, both of these guys, if you look at them, their record's not phenomenal. But if you watch their fights, I mean, they come to fight. And this is going to be a good one. I do have Chris Curtis also winning, probably by knockout. All right, next fight on the card, we have Neil Magney coming off that embarrassing loss to Ian Gary. He's a plus 250 underdog against Mike Mallot, minus 340.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say because me and you really hyped up Neil Magney for that Ian Gary fight, and we were completely wrong. So I don't want to jump ships real fast, but Mike Mallot, he's got a lot of hype on him right now. He's got good wrestling. He's got good striking. He's got good submissions. But again, Neil Magney is just he breaks people. But it's hard to say that after watching his last fight. This fight is really hard for me to pick. I'm gonna let you pick first.
Yeah, this fight, honestly, looking at a betting perspective, is not hard for me. When I look at this, I see Neil Magney at a plus 250, and and I think that's absolutely right there, already worth it. Even if I think Mike Mallot is a better fighter and wins, let's say 60 to 40% of the time, just because of the money being at plus 250, I would have to go with Neil Magney winning this one. Like you said, he does break people in the later rounds because he's a veteran. He's been around for so long and fought, everyone in this division. So I'm definitely taking Neil Magney.
Yeah, well, with that, I definitely would take Neil Magney from the bettor's perspective because Mike Mallot has definitely not been tested yet by anyone in the UFC, and Neil Magney has fought the top best guys in the UFC. I think he beat Jeff Neal in a decision, didn't he?
Oh, I remember that Neal fight, Neal versus Neal fight.
Absolutely crazy fight. Daniel Rodriguez, his list of names goes on. Yeah, I have no clue how he beat Jeff Neal, but I would back Neil Magny just off a betting perspective.
Yeah, Neil Magny also beat D-Rod too, which is an impressive victory right there. So yeah, definitely taking Neil Magny in this one. Mike Mallot has not been tested. He's got a lot to prove. And I just want to backtrack on one thing. You said Brendan Allen is one of your favorite fighters?
Yeah.
I can't stand that fucking guy.
Why didn't you like Brendan Allen?
No, hell no.
His striking is insanely good. He's got good grappling. Well, I mean, you don't like him as a person, I assume. He's a good fighter.
Yeah, I don't. He definitely is a good fighter, but especially this last fight, it was against Paul Craig, right? Oh my god, he annoyed the fuck out of me that whole fight.
Beat the shit out of him.
He did beat the shit out of him, but
so many people had Paul Craig winning that fight. I don't know how, because Brendan Allen's striking is very elite. His grappling is very elite. He's got a submission. I think a submission win over Kevin Holland. It might be a decision, but I'm pretty sure it's a submission win over Kevin Holland. I think he's up and coming for that title. Not with Sean Strickland in the way, though, obviously.
Yeah. Sean Strickland knocked his ass out.
Yeah, he did. That was impressive.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm looking at his record, and I don't even see Kevin. Oh, there it is. Kevin Holland. Yeah, he beat him by rear naked choke in the second round.
Yeah. I think he beat him twice, too. I thought that they fought in LFA. Him and Kevin Holland.
I'll look back. No, I don't see him on there. I only see him on there once.
Oh, okay. Well, I lied.
Damn, he lost to fucking Eric Anders in the LFA. That's embarrassing.
Who did? Brendan Allen?
Yeah, and he lost to Trevin Giles. And Anthony Fluffy Hernandez in the LFA. All of those were in the LFA.
Anthony Hernandez is good as fuck.
He is good.
He's very good.
Damn, he lost to all these good people before he even came to the UFC. But since then, he's only lost to a handful of guys, including Chris Curtis. But, yeah, fuck that guy. Let's get off that topic. All right, moving on to the next fight. Probably fight of the night right here. Raquel Rocky Pennington, I'm pretty sure that's her nickname, right? Versus Myra Bueno Silva. Which she looked really good. I think she's the one that granted us with no more Holly Holm main events, hopefully.
Yeah.
She put an end to all of that.
Yeah, it's Myra Hands of Steel Bueno Silva, I guess.
Who that's you got? So Pennington is a plus 142 underdog, and Silva's a minus 184.
Myra Bueno Silva. The only reason why I would take her, I'm not gonna say anything smart about this fight right now because I honestly don't know much about her. But I think she fought Jillian Robertson, didn't she? Or am I thinking of the wrong girl? Oh yeah, she did. Okay, so Jillian Robertson, one of the best girls, women's MMA fighter, like jiu-jitsu practitioner, I guess. And Myra Bueno Silva submitted her, but that was in 2018. But I mean, I'm just taking Silva on this one. I'm definitely not gonna be away from the TV for that fight. So I'm gonna be sitting there watching tentatively, making sure that. Yeah.
Undivided attention, phone on silent.
Yep.
For the rest of the night.
Mark my words.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, if you look at the price for UFC 297 and the price of UFC 300 are going to be the same thing. So it's pretty crazy looking at this card. All right, but now we get to the main event, which, I don't know, might be worth it all. Champion Sean Strickland versus, he's a minus 138 favorite against Dricus Du Plessis plus 108. So looking at the build-up for this fight, oh my gosh, there was plenty of it. And Du Plessis got Strickland in his feelings. And I thought he was going to push the gas on that, and just fucking get him as fucking riled up as he could. But I don't know if he apologized backstage and the DMs gave him a call, kissed him on the cheek or something. But now they're best friends. I don't know if you saw this newest Embedded.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was kind of cool. I really did like the kind of build up to it. How Dana accidentally sat them right behind each other.
Accidentally, my ass. They used that footage. They used that footage for the build up in the previews.
Yeah. I'm buying this card just for Sean Strickland alone. Just because I'd feel bad streaming it. Because he's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, that confrontation they had was kind of strange. But I mean, I can kind of understand. Sean Strickland was just riled up, and he had all those cameras on him and everything. He can't let him punk him like that, so he had to put it on him a little bit, give him a little taste. And Dracus came up with his mom in the video, so that was sweet of him to do that, not beat him up in front of his mom.
That was his mom?
No, it was his girlfriend.
Oh, I was about to say, what the fuck? But not to bring it back to Colby, but like this is how you do it. You don't fucking go to court and sue and say, hey, you better give me a title shot.
Yeah, I like the post that he put out about how he would take the blame for it just to be able to fight him still. So that was pretty cool. Hopefully, he doesn't stub his toe on the way in there. So.
Yeah, I mean, fuck this fight. It's gonna be phenomenal. I mean, we know fucking Sean Strickland isn't going there to fucking sniff crotch and fucking hold him down the whole fight. And then Dricus, I don't know if he knows how to wrestle that guy. But let's go down to the breakdown. Oh, excuse me. I think my mic cracked. But no, I'm pretty sure it's been bugging out lately. But Sean Strickland versus Dricus, what a fucking fight this is going to be. I have Sean Strickland winning. I think his striking has just been a lot safer, especially since getting knocked out by Pereira.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be able to withstand what Dricus has early in the round because that motherfucker gasses in the first 45 seconds. Like we saw in when he fought Blonde Brunson.
Oh, my God.
That was possibly the worst fight I've ever seen in my life. But or I guess the most sloppy fight I've ever seen in my life. But, I mean, I don't think Sean Strickland will get in that mode where it's that sloppy and that tired. He has pretty good cardio. But, yeah, I'm having Sean Strickland winning, and I'm going to say by knockout. Not by knockout. Let me take that back. TKO.
Okay.
Late TKO.
That's interesting. Yeah. I went back and watched Dricus' fights because I don't understand how the hell he made it this far after watching that fight with Brunson. But when I went back, I watched him. I noticed that like a trend with him is he is always throwing something. Like it almost seems like if he's not throwing something in his head, he's telling himself he's losing the fight. So he's always going for the win, no matter how much time left in the round. No matter if he's tired or not, which is, I think, his biggest key to the victory, if he were to win, is his relentless pressure and his weird pace that he puts on people. And another thing is he's got an iron chin. When you went back and watched those fights, he doesn't really – he has a good defense. He has a decent defense. He gets hit a lot, though. And I think that Strickland and his patience and his timing – and knowing when to throw is what's gonna set them apart. I think similar to the Adesanya fight, I don't think Dricus is even gonna be able to touch him as much. I think he'll definitely land some good body shots and stuff on him the first couple rounds. But I think the third, fourth, and fifth are all gonna be Strickland. I think the first and second are gonna be pretty close. But the third, fourth, and fifth round all Strickland, and I think Strickland does get it done. I think he gets the knockout or TKO, I guess. TKO or knockout in round 3, 4. If I had to put a number, I would say round 4. But I think that Strickland's timing and his patience is going to outweigh Dricus's crazy pressure and weird haymakers he throws.
Yeah, for sure. I think Sean Strickland, even looking at this fight strategically, he has to recognize, one, that as the fight goes on, Dricus becomes less dangerous, and that's when he can let it out. And if he looks back at his Adesanya fight, like, he didn't really start letting go into those later rounds, and, man, it worked. And I know Dricus does have durability, but, like, I don't know if he has the technique to be getting out of, you know, the punching flurries that Strickland throws like Adesanya did. Yeah. So, I mean, with as impressive as Sean looked, I definitely see him getting the win. And with Dricus, supposedly he wasn't getting tired early. He would just breathe through his mouth because his nose had something wrong with it. And then he ended up getting surgery for it. So shouldn't be a problem anymore, but we'll see. I think it was a cardio thing. When you look at that Brunson fight, it's like, how is that not? You're just breathing through your mouth and fighting sloppy. You're not tired?
Yeah, you get more oxygen through your mouth. Yeah, I think even with his brand new improvised, all new, brand new
Nose.
his nose. I think with his new nose, he's still done. I don't think his cardio is going to be any better. Everyone keeps saying that. Oh, he's got his nose surgery. His nose actually works properly now. He went 2 rounds with Whitaker, and Whitaker is not a fighter that puts a really heavy pace on you. He kind of just times his entries and gets it in and gets out, bounces in and bounces out. Dricus, on the other hand, the other guys he's fought also matched that pressure, and he got tired. So I think that even though he got his brand new state of the art nose, I think that the pressure of Sean Strickland and him being him missing all those. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, his defense, Sean Strickland's defense. I think with Sean Strickland's defense, it's going to hold up really well, and it's going to frustrate Du Plessis. So I think that it's going to catch up to him in the later rounds.
All right. Well, fuck. Hopefully this card does end up delivering, and it's a good one because I mean it has some matchups that can live up to the hype. So hopefully they do, and we'll definitely be watching, and we'll be back to recap next week. You got anything else, buddy?
No.
All righty. See you after Sunday. I guess Saturday. Goodbye.